Why your cat always interrupts what you're doing. You think your cat is just being annoying, but that's not why they keep interrupting you. You open your laptop and your cat walks right across the keyboard. You sit down with a book and somehow they choose that exact page to lie on. You try to fold clothes, write something, clean something, answer a message, or even just look at your phone for 2 quiet minutes and your cat appears like it was waiting for that exact moment. Most people laugh and call it clingy behavior, or attention-seeking, or typical cat chaos. But what if your cat is not interrupting your life at random? What if they are doing something much more personal than that? Because cats do not just respond to what you do, they respond to what matters to you in the moment. And when your cat keeps stepping into the center of your attention, they may not be trying to ruin what you're doing. They may be trying to enter the part of your world that feels most alive. Your cat notices where your attention goes. This is the first thing most owners underestimate. Cats are incredibly good at reading patterns, and one of the strongest patterns in your home is your attention. They know the difference between when you are wandering around absent-mindedly and when your body, eyes, hands, and energy all lock onto one thing. They notice when your voice changes. They notice when your movements become more focused. They notice when your posture says, "I am somewhere else right now." And that matters, because to a bonded cat, attention is not invisible. It is part of the emotional atmosphere of the house. When your mind moves somewhere intensely, your cat often feels that shift before you even realize it yourself. That is why they do not always interrupt randomly. They interrupt when your focus sharpens. It is not just that they want you, it is that they notice exactly where you went. That's why they lie on the thing you are using. If your cat wanted your attention in the simplest possible way, they could just meow from across the room. They could brush against your leg. They could sit nearby and stare at you. But often, they do something much more specific. They choose the object that currently holds your focus. The laptop, the notebook, the laundry pile, the open box, the suitcase, the yoga mat, the newspaper, the exact shirt you are trying to fold, the exact surface your hands keep returning to. That is not accidental. Your cat is not only asking to be noticed, they are placing themselves directly inside the channel of attention between you and the object. In a strange feline way, they may be saying, "If this is where your energy is going, I want to be where it goes too." And once you see it like that, the behavior stops feeling random. It starts feeling incredibly intimate. Sometimes your cat interrupts because your stillness invites closeness. There is another layer to this. A person who is focused often becomes physically still. When you type, read, draw, scroll, write, or sew, your body settles into one place. You stop moving through the house. You become quiet, predictable, contained. And to a cat, that can feel like the perfect moment to approach. Why? Because moving humans are harder to read. Focused humans are calmer, easier, more available in a physical sense, even if mentally they are somewhere else. So your cat may be drawn to your work, not because they hate your work, but because your focused state makes you momentarily feel like a stable resting place. That is why some cats wait until you sit down for real before appearing. Not when you are pacing, not when you are doing chores, but the second your body settles into concentration, there they are. Not interrupting movement, interrupting stillness. And yes, sometimes they are jealous, but not in the human way. People love to joke that cats are jealous of laptops, books, or phones, and in a loose way, that is sometimes true. But not because your cat is thinking in words like, "I hate that object." It is more instinctive than that. Your cat senses that something invisible has captured you. Your eyes keep returning to it. Your hands keep touching it. Your energy stays with it. And from their point of view, that makes the object emotionally important. It becomes the center of a relationship moment they are not part of, so they step in. Not because they understand emails or books or deadlines, but because they understand displacement. They understand when your attention is not resting on them, And many bonded cats respond by physically inserting themselves into that gap. In other words, your cat may not be jealous of the object itself. They may be jealous of whatever just took your presence away. This is why the interruption often looks oddly affectionate. Have you noticed that when cats interrupt, they do not always do it dramatically? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they leap onto the keyboard like tiny vandals. But often the behavior is softer than that. They place one paw on your arm, they lean into your notebook, they sit between you and the screen, they rest their body on your chest when you hold your phone. They press their cheek into the hand that was busy doing something else. That softness matters. Because many interruptions are not aggressive, they are relational. Your cat is not always trying to stop the activity. Sometimes they are trying to be included in it or gently redirected back toward connection. The interruption is not always, "Stop that." Sometimes it is, "Come back here with me." And that may be why the behavior can feel so hard to resist. Because beneath the inconvenience, there is something deeply tender in it. Your cat may also be interrupting your stress, not just your task. This is the part people often miss. Sometimes your cat does not interrupt because you are busy. Sometimes they interrupt because you are tense. Cats are highly sensitive to changes in your energy. If your breathing becomes shallow, your shoulders tighten, your movements become fast or sharp, or your focus starts carrying frustration, some cats react to that shift very quickly. They walk onto the desk, they brush against you, they meow, they sit in front of the screen, they paw your hand. On the surface, it looks like they are making things worse. But what if, in their own strange and inconvenient way, they are responding to the fact that you no longer feel emotionally soft? Your cat may not understand your work, but they do notice when your nervous system changes. And for some bonded cats, interruption can be their way of re-entering that emotional space and trying to pull the atmosphere back towards something calmer. Not because they are therapists, but because they are deeply tuned to the shape of your presence. The object matters less than the ritual around it. This is why cats often interrupt the same kinds of moments again and again. It is not always the object, it is the ritual. The repeated emotional pattern around the object, the way you sit on the couch at night with your phone, the way you open the laptop at the desk, the way you unfold laundry on the bed, the way you read by the window in late afternoon, the way you write in silence at the kitchen table. Your cat learns these patterns, and once they learn them, the interruption can become part of the ritual too. That is why some cats appear before you even start. They see the book and jump up. They hear the laptop open and come running. They watch you bring in the laundry basket and immediately claim the warm clothes. They are not improvising every time. They are anticipating a familiar sequence and placing themselves inside it before it fully begins. And maybe that's what makes it feel like they always know. Because in a way, they do. They know the sound of your work starting, the posture of your concentration, the emotional texture of your attention leaving the room even while your body stays in it. They know which objects mean you are about to become less reachable, and they know the tiny windows where they can still step in and pull you back. That is why their timing can feel almost impossible. You are not imagining it. Your cat really does seem to know when you are about to disappear into something. And maybe that is because they have spent so long loving you in a quiet, observant way that they have memorized the doorway between your presence and your absence. So, what is your cat really doing when they interrupt you? Sometimes they want attention. Sometimes they want warmth. Sometimes they are bored. Sometimes they want the object, the texture, the space, or the routine around it. But very often, the interruption means something more personal than people give it credit for. Your cat may be following your attention. They may be stepping into the exact place where your energy just went. They may be drawn to the version of you that appears when you are still and focused. They may be reacting to your stress. They may be rejoining a ritual that has become emotionally meaningful to them. And sometimes, most beautifully of all, they may simply be saying this: if this is where you are right now, I want to be there too. That is why even the interruption can be a form of love. It may be inconvenient, it may be badly timed, it may happen when you have things to do and no patience left. But the next time your cat walks across your keyboard, lies on your book, steals the exact shirt you are folding, or places themselves between you and the thing that had all your attention, try to look at it a little differently. Because your cat is not always trying to break your concentration. Sometimes they are trying to find you inside it. And in their own stubborn, quiet, deeply feline way, they may be reminding you that no matter what has your attention, they still want a place in the middle of your life.